it's John with Catch Boat Works, and today we're here to give you a complete walkthrough video of the entire boat finished, and she's beautiful. So take a look at the outside before we bring you up into the inside, and then we're going to bring you back here to the back of the boat and start talking about some of the features. Direct overboard draining scuppers, and they're well above the water line. I had 3 large adults in the back corner of the boat, and the deck was still dry, no water coming up through the scuppers. Here on the back of the boat, we designed this boat for the Mercury V10 425. It's an awesome motor. It's got tons of torque. It's the perfect fit for this boat. Every boat comes standard with a jack plate. And since it's standard with a jack plate, we don't have an engine well built onto the boat anymore. So you can walk easily across the swim platform. The back of this boat was also designed for zip wake interceptor blades that come straight up and down instead of trim tabs. They're much more efficient. They work a whole lot better, and we designed the back of the boat specifically to fit those. Then here, we have a pull-out ladder that the divers will love. And it's a T-ladder, so you can get up it with your fins on as well. The other aspect to talk about on this boat is the hull design. A lot of people look at what's the dead rise on the transom and ask that question. Well, on this boat, it's only 15 degrees, and that's how we got it to float so shallow. But what makes the ride on this boat incredible is the hull design of the nose. It's a 55-degree entry at the nose and a custom strake design that eliminates the flats on the strakes. And when you eliminate the flats on the strakes, you eliminate the pounding that they cause, and it dramatically improves the ride. We designed it in a computer, we tested it in computer simulations, and then when we put it in the water, it worked way better than we thought it would. All the R&D that we did in the computer really paid off. Now in the back of the boat, we designed this for divers. So it's got a large swim platform on it and no engine well and a pull-out ladder. So it's very easy to get up. It's very easy to come through the access door. It's got a door that you can close here that is on friction hinges, so that wherever you place it, it doesn't swing around in a sea when you're rolling in a sea. And then for the inshore part of this boat, when you're inshore fishing, like right now here, we've got the power pole, the power poles down in 4 feet of water. And if you're casting along this mangrove line or what have you, and you want to fish from the back of the boat, you have a casting platform. So we made this a little bit wider, which made the live wells a little bit bigger. And we put non-skid on the top of the live wells as well, so you can walk up and down on this, and you've got a step to get up and down from it. Over here, on each side of the boat, we have 2 large fish boxes. They're large. They're 5 feet long, 60 inches long, and there's one on either side, and they have a pump out that pumps them overboard. They're insulated, and every hatch on the catch has this double gasket system that seals really well, makes these things really airtight and really watertight. So here you have a lazarette hatch. It's a hatch to the bilge, and it's large so that you can get in here and get to all of your components for your pumps and so forth. It's so large that I've actually crawled in there several times already. Tackle center here with tackle trays. And this is a catch-all area. Fishermen always need like a catch-all spot for their pliers, their loose tackle, what have you. So that's the catch-all. Frigid rigid cooler also comes standard on every boat on a pull-out, and so you can pull it out, and it's got non-skid on here, so you can stand on it to reach up and reach your rod holders if you need to on the hard top. I'm 5'8", I need to do it. Cup holder, rod holder combos. We can do various setups there. And then we use all rod holders without screws, screwless rod holders that are just a nice clean look, and they're much stronger. Pop-up cleats. There's 6 of them on the boat. And then when we come here to the helm, this is really cool about the helm. The helm is designed for comfort, for ergonomics, where you can sit in the seat, put your feet up on the footrest, and sit, and you can actually sit and drive this boat with your hands at 10 and 2, and you can see quite easily over the console. My wife's only 5'1", and I promised her a boat that she could drive, and she can drive this boat sitting down. We made the console extremely clean, minimized the number of switches that are on the dashboard. So you have the critical switches here, like horn, nav lights, bilge pump, spotlight, but all the rest of the switches are built into digital switching in the Garmin, and you can arrange those any way you want. And you get 2 Garmins on this boat standard, and 2 16-inch Garmins down here and a 12-inch Garmin up there. And also as standard is a Fusion Stereo or Garmin VHF, and so you don't have the cord hanging in your face, we put the mic down here. These are remote battery switches to turn the batteries on and off remotely, and to join the batteries together in the case of emergency. If you want to, you can join them together there as well. Climbing into the console is quite easy. Oh, before we get to that, let's go to here. More tackle here. So this holds 4 of these. I have 2 of them out. I'm using it more like a glove box, and we have additional tackle there. Then for the console, or for the second station, climbing up from the console, we did recessed footsteps over here, and it's very easy to climb in. So a small person, large person can get up here quite easily, just climb up and down the steps. So we designed this to be very comfortable for 2 people up here. There's seating for 2. It's nice and wide. 2 large guys can be up here and they're not on top of one another. Plus there's also a 12-inch screen that we'll show you here in a shot in a minute, and switches as well. Everything that you can control in the Garmin's down below, you can control up here. So a 12-inch Garmin up here, again, you can control everything up here just as you could down below. All the switches are in here as well. The switches that you need immediately are on a pad right here. Nice comfortable seat. The stitching in all the seats is fish scales. That's pretty cool. And then we flushed in the rod holders. There's 10 rod holders up here in the hardtop that you don't see when you're down below. You're like, where are the rod holders? Well, they're flushed in. They're sleek. And how many inshore boats do you find with outriggers? Not many, if any at all. We designed the second station to make it real easy to get in and out of. We put these recessed steps here. We also flushed the aluminum into the console, which gave us a lot more room here. This boat's only an 8'6" beam. The 8'6" beam makes the ride much better. Skinnier boats ride better. And by flushing in the aluminum, we picked up about 1 foot of interior space by doing that. Plus the way we designed the liner's all the way up against the side of the hull and glued to the hull. We picked up more room there. So the interior of this boat feels bigger than a typical 8'6" beam boat. You'll see a number of boats with second stations in the hardtop, and they have to put a hatch here to close it off because you'll get wet. Well, we put the windshield behind the opening, and now you don't have to close it off. If it rains or what have you, you're not going to get wet. The windshield's going to block it. So the seat was made specifically for the catch by Taco Marine Seating. They have a division over in Sarasota, and they made this seat for us. It's got armrests that fold down. You can stand here, and you can stand comfortably. You can sit comfortably. It's just very comfortable. Plus, it's on a slide as well. So short people, tall people, it goes back and forth. So when my 5'1" wife drives, we move it forward. When one of the guys who works for me is 6'5", we move it back. Everybody fits into this Helm comfortably. No matter how good you make a fishing boat, if you don't make the wives happy, it's not happening. And so we built this with the wives in mind. It's incredibly comfortable. My wife hated sitting in the front of a boat. It was always the worst seat in the house. Now it's the best seat in the house. She loves sitting up here. Plus, if you're a fisherman, you're going to love it too, because this is a giant fish box, a huge insulated fish box that drains directly overboard. These are plugs. They're just like a Yeti cooler. And you pull them out, and this box drains directly overboard. And everything has a double gasket, seals incredibly well. When you're inshore fishing, you mostly fish from the bow of the boat. So we gave this boat extra wide gunnels up here so that you can come up here, stand here, sight cast, throw a cast net, what have you, and you can walk up and down these gunnels quite comfortably without feeling like you're going to go overboard. And if it's a little bit rougher, you can come down here and you can do the same thing. And we left space underneath the gunnels here for your toes, so you can stand here and support and stabilize yourself. The forward hatch fits 2 buckets, so perfect place for cast nets when you're storing cast nets away. Again, every hatch on the boat has a double gasket system that seals incredibly well. There's another one down here. Again, fits a 5-gallon bucket, double gasket system, and the gutter drains directly overboard. And then the trolling motor. The trolling motor on this boat was a forethought instead of an afterthought. We designed the bow of this boat around the trolling motor. So if you look here at the hatch for the windlass, it's not symmetrical. It's cut off on one side so that the trolling motor can fit here and not interfere with the hatch. Also, the trolling motor clears the windlass anchor that comes standard on this boat as well. So you have a windlass system in here that works perfectly with the trolling motor. How many boats can have a windlass and a trolling motor up on the bow and they don't interfere with one another? We designed it in that way. So taking advantage of the extra wide gunnels, we didn't want to waste the space underneath them. So we made it into storage. This is where you put all your life jackets on this side, and you can either have additional storage on this side that matches that and put tackle in it or whatever, fenders, ropes, what have you. But one of the things we're going to be doing on this boat is we're going to be cutting a slot in here like this, and it's going to get trimmed out with a piece like this. And then you're going to be able to take the trolling motor off of the quick release up there, put it on a quick release here on this door. The tail will stick through here and go through the slot, and you'll be able to close the door, and the trolling motor tail will be up underneath the gunnel here, stored completely out of the way. We're finding about half the people think it's great and want it on their boat, and half would rather have the additional storage. We'll do it either way for you. No charge for whichever way you do it. The Catch 27 crossover has an oversized console for this size boat. It's huge down there. First, you have a nice clean acrylic door that is on friction hinges so that wherever you leave it, it stays, so that when you're offshore and the boat's rocking around, the door doesn't go swinging around on you. It's going to stay where you put it. You come down here inside the console, and you have tons of space in here. There's plenty of space for a big porta potty. We actually intentionally left all of the wiring out in the open so that it's easy to service and work on. We did such a nice job on the wiring, we wanted to show it off. We went with an Aegis system for power distribution. These are really cool. These are your battery switches, and a VSR, which automatically connects the batteries when they're charging and disconnects them when they're discharging. And you can remotely turn these on and off at the helm. This is a Martron. These are Martron computers for controlling the digital switching on a dashboard through the Garmin's. They just don't fail. Having digital switching on your Garmin's is much, much more reliable than mechanical switches. But one of the things we did is just in case, God forbid, you ever had a failure, like all of your Garmin's went down and you couldn't get to your switches, we put this battery switch in here, and we can flip this and go over to 12 manual backup switches. So your bilge pump, your horn, your nav lights, all the critical components are on 12 switches that are on manual backup. Hopefully you'll never need them, but they're there. The other thing we did too is we pulled as many components into the inside here to keep them dry and clean, like the relay for the windlass, all the controls for the trolling motor, so forth, the freshwater washdown pump. There's an 18-gallon water tank forward of the batteries here. And we went with Abyss lithium batteries standard. That's what we put standard in this boat. So there's a high power start battery and a house battery. Plus there's a large 36-volt trolling motor battery under there as well. So we keep them tucked underneath there. They stay clean, they stay dry, out of the weather. It was really the best place to put them. With the Abyss lithium batteries, we also got the Abyss battery charging system. So there's a plug on the outside here that you can plug it into shore power, and it will charge your engine battery, your house battery, and your trolling motor battery all at the same time. But this is really cool. This is also made by Abyss as well. This is an additional battery charger that charges the trolling motor off of the engine. So when your engine is running, you're charging your trolling motor as well. That's something quite rare. One of the things I noticed on a lot of boats is that the deck height and the scuppers are just too low. And it's a problem throughout the industry that decks are just too low. And so water will come back up through the scuppers on a self-bailing hull. I'm 175 pounds. Ryan here doing the filming, he's 200 pounds. Ryan coming over here, standing in the corner with me. We're gonna put both of our feet here. We're gonna put both of us standing in the corner. So we got 375 pounds standing in this corner, and that scupper is still dry. We can add another large person, and that scupper will remain dry. And in fact, you can point the camera overboard, and you can see how the scupper is above the water line, with both of us over here in this corner of the boat. We designed it to have dry decks. Nothing more annoying when you're offshore fishing to have your decks constantly awash. For the live bait guys, I love the live bait fish. We gave it 2 big live wells. This is a 39-gallon live well here, and this is a 20-gallon live well over here. And we designed them also so that 5-gallon buckets fit in them as well. So when you go to the sandbar, this becomes your garbage pail. You can put it in here, and we even offset the drain a little bit so that the garbage pail is not on top of the drain. And we did the same thing over here. You can fit a 5-gallon bucket in it, and the drain's not in the way. You can put 2 of them. One of the biggest things that makes the Catch-27 a true crossover between inshore fishing and offshore fishing is the gunnel height. Bay boats, the gunnels are they're too short for offshore. They don't come above your knee. So we made the gunnels here just high enough that you can lean up against them comfortably offshore and not feel like you're gonna go overboard. But then they're also just low enough that you can reach overboard easily and reach the water and release a snook or redfish or something if you're inshore fishing. The hardtop on the Catch-27 was custom designed for this boat, and it was designed to use the D-shaped pipe and with handles with finger holds on them, and also we built these boxes in to flush in the rod holders above and put the speakers in up here as well. There's 6 speakers in this boat in the hardtop, And by putting them up in the hardtop instead of around the boat down lower, you can hear them a lot better. And if you can hear them a lot better, you don't need as large of a power amp as well. So you have a normal size power amp instead of having to do 2 or 3 power amps in this boat. And you still have plenty of sound. You can hear it, you know, doing 40 miles an hour quite easily. It works really well. So every catch comes standard with a freshwater washdown and a saltwater washdown. This side of the boat gets the freshwater washdown. There's 20 feet of hose on a retractable hose reel. All for riding along, enjoying the trip with us. That's it for today. Have a good evening.